Before I start this review, I just want to note that during the course of filming this video, I did have some mods installed. These are the Red Dead Redemption 2 Save Editor, Lenny's Simple Trainer, and the Bounties expansion mod. The first two mods were used exclusively for filming this video, so I could have an easier time of finding the footage I needed. As for the Bounties expansion, this is a mod I was interested in, but I haven't played it yet. Nevertheless, it is present in my game here, so I figured I should let you know. Rather than trying to pronounce the names of the authors of these mods and butchering them terribly, I'll put them up on the screen here, and I'll also include a link to each mod in the description. Just please bear in mind that aside from the two mods I used for technical purposes and the Bounties expansion mod, my experience with Red Dead Redemption 2 was entirely vanilla. When it comes to video games, sequels and prequels can be a pretty mixed bag. It's anyone's guess whether a new installment will be just as good as the original, better, or, God forbid, worse. So how does Red Dead Redemption 2 stack up? Let's find out. Red Dead Redemption 2 takes place in 1899 and follows Arthur Morgan, an outlaw, in Dutch Vanderlyn's gang. You may remember Dutch as a secondary character in the original Red Dead Redemption, and he makes a return along with other familiar faces like John Marston, Uncle, and Javier Escuela. And these are accompanied by a cast of new characters, both lovable and not so lovable, big and small, that really just flesh out the game and make it feel just as alive and special, story-wise and cast-wise, as the first game. The game takes place after a vaguely defined catastrophic event known as the Blackwater Massacre. We don't know much about this event, but from what we can gather, the gang had to get away, and get away quickly. Now they're on the run from the law and the infamous Pinkerton Detective Agency, and they must land one more big score so that they can have enough money to escape and live the good life. Things don't go 100% according to plan, which leads to an action-packed and fun-filled adventure full of twists and turns that I won't spoil. Similar to the first game, in Red Dead Redemption 2, you control Arthur traveling around in the open world between missions, and to begin each mission, you'll approach a marker on your map. If you find yourself growing tired of the chaos of the story, you can opt for a smaller side story, which are also dotted throughout the map for you to discover in the form of strangers. Add to that the numerous random encounters you can have around the map, and you can guarantee that no ride from Valentine to Saint Denis is going to be uneventful. Now, how you interact with these random encounters, and even in some missions, is up to you. Are you a good guy who greets everyone you meet, avoiding trouble and taking in bounties to earn some extra money? Or do you prefer the more unsavory approach? In addition to all of the strangers' side quests I previously mentioned, there are also a variety of things that you can do just to spend some time. Whether it be watching a movie at one of the many theaters, or getting into a bar fight, or even just shopping. Browsing the shelves in Red Dead Redemption 2 is a joy. I love going into first person, wandering into a store, and actually picking up something off of the shelf to examine it before deciding if I'm going to purchase it or put it back. And then there's the catalog, which, in addition to being an easy way to purchase goods for Arthur and his horse, can also be read. There are advertisements full of that goofy rockstar humor that is just enjoyable to read. Red Dead Redemption 2 once again has some great music, beautifully sung, unique pieces that make an appearance at certain points throughout the game. Coming from a person who doesn't know too much about music, I never heard anything that was unpleasant. Red Dead does have some interesting glitches. There was occasionally a glitch where some of Arthur's equipment would clip through his shirt in a way that didn't seem natural. Usually, changing a shirt would help with this, and thankfully you now have the ability to store clothing on your horse due to the weather system. Obviously, technical glitches happen, but I expected a bit more in certain areas. Now, is it detrimental to the game and my experience? No, but it is a little distracting. And for everything that doesn't look right in Red Dead Redemption 2, there's plenty that does. Whether you're walking through the snow and it drifts around your feet, or getting into a brawl outside the bar in Valentine with the mud sticking to your clothes, everything you do just feels better, feels more fluid. Every punch that's thrown, every shot that's fired, there are just so many little touches that make the world feel like it really is reacting to your impact and the impact of the NPCs. And I think for that, Rockstar and the development team should really be commended. I still have so much ground to cover in my playthrough of Red Dead Redemption 2, and so much to do and see, whether it be letting Arthur's hair grow out all the way, or shaving him completely bald, bringing in a bounty, or running from a bounty myself, catching legendary fish, or finally finding that hidden treasure that's eluded me for the past 200 odd hours. For all its flaws, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a major improvement on its predecessor. That's not to say the original still isn't a good game, it absolutely is. But it's been wonderful to see RDR 2 take what was set before it and run with it. Fly with it, even. And sure, there's been some bumps along the way, but I think its track record speaks a lot for itself. The story is solid, the soundtrack is amazing, and it's just a whole lot of fun. Red Dead Redemption 2 is something I can look back on and say with certainty that I am glad to have spent my time with Arthur Morgan.